Greetings, humanoids of the internet! My name is Bob, and this is episode 113 of Journey into Space! Now, as we left off, we had attached to the asteroid, but our intention is to bring the asteroid home into Kerbin orbit so that we can start building up a asteroid, sort of congregation of asteroids as a base for a like an artificial moon type deal in Kerbin orbit. But first we have to actually get one back. And after we're probably going to do more asteroid hunting later on to build the aforementioned artificial moon. But after we either get this one back or fail to get it back, I want to do a brief little diversion into space tourism, but we'll get to that when the time comes. It is, however, far from a foregone conclusion that we'll actually get this back. Uh-oh. What am I doing wrong? Continue? Yes, please. Please continue. That's why I pushed the button to begin with. And we will get into possibly getting into territory where we have to decide whether to abandon the retrieval effort and get Jebediah back alive. You know, at some point we're going to have to make that call of, well, we're not going to get the asteroid back, and we need to save Jebediah. So, well, hopefully we will get the Jebediah and the asteroid safely into Kerbin orbit. We shall see. And I'm very impressed by the fact that it hasn't crashed, even though I recorded it straight through from the beginning. Normally I'd have to stop recording and then do the transition and then start recording again. Thus far, it's doing very nice in that respect. Anyway, let's go to the Ass-A-Tron. Yeah, it didn't crash then either. Very nice. Alright, here's the Ass-A-Tron. I have no idea really what the... Well, I suppose we can look here. I don't remember what the original mass. It was 61.16 tons. Yeah, could be tricky. And in a perfect world, we wouldn't have to do that much to get back to Kerbin. However, sort of remains to be seen. I'm probably gonna have to do a lot of fishing here around here to find the best way to go as far as a return trajectory. So I'll go ahead and fish around with that. Okay, one thing I've noticed, this is a lot slower to maneuver than it used to be. I guess, understandably, since there's a big rock attached to one end. Excuse me. Okay. Speed up a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm first going to change the inclination to be back on Kerbin's plane of inclination, and then we'll worry about how we're going to intersect it. Okay. dealing with these kinds of distances, you don't have to be perfectly precise on your burns, but you know, it doesn't hurt to try for precision. That's good enough. A little bit of buffeting there, but not bad. I expect I'm fairly close to the center of balance on that. Not quite as hard to push this rock as I thought it probably would be. Of course, it's a fairly small rock. Okay, heading up to stop the engine burn. Let's slow it down a little bit. Not that much. Okay. Okay, so we got the right inclination. Wonder if we can get an encounter. Nah, not looking very positive. But what do we have? What do we have here? What have we here? Aha! Okay, considering how far away that is, I'm not even going to bother trying to narrow down the altitude. We'll just go for it. Let's go ahead and move up a bit. Actually, let's first quick save. Okay, now we'll move up a bit. I say we'll move up a bit. Okay, that's not a bad burn. Might be able to get back to Kerbin with substantial fuel reserves. It is very slow to turn. Seems to have a lot of inertia, which would be expected if you're hauling around an asteroid. You would expect a bit of inertia going on. And in fact, there is a bit of inertia going on. Okay. Go and warp up a bit. Yeah, that's not a bad burn at all. I think we're looking pretty happy right now. Okay, well this asteroid mission has had a duration of 1 year, 395 days, and so on. So it's not a minor undertaking by any stretch of the imagination. I hope that the ones that NASA does are going to be a little bit of shorter duration. You can go to Mars on this kind of duration. That's okay. Jeb's got nowhere he needs to be. I've heard it said that if you try to load an old save, that you're going to get fewer asteroids. One reason why I started a new save here. So all the stuff that we were doing on the old save, I guess we're going to just leave that be. So that the Have Exploder, I think the journey of the Have Exploder has come to an end, because that's on the old save. Alright, let's see if we can narrow this down a little bit. Do a quick F5. Okay, we got a periapsis of 61 million meters. Let's see if we can. There's so many fucking asteroids in the way. 61,664. That's not much of an improvement. No, that's a non-improvement. Okay. Let's see if I can scope out where we're encountering that. Looks like the plane is about right. So it's 55. Nope. Nope. Oh, well, let me mess with this for a while. Okay, what I did is I went ahead and waited until I started the encounter to adjust it, which is normally a bad idea, but I was having a real hard time getting a grip on where I actually was in relation to Kerbin. Let's see. Where am I in relation to? I'm pretty much flat on. Let's go ahead and warp it on in. Still too much. Little fucking gnats flying around me. It's spring here. The spring is full on now, and so we occasionally have the occasional house gnat. Gnat. The house gnat. The common house gnat. I'm going to actually get it down to about a 70-kilometer periapsis at first, and then I will adjust. I've adjusted all the way into the planet. That'll work for now. Okay. And I can't move this manatee for shit. What's going on? I'm out of power. That sucks. Yeah, I've never conceived of the fact that I might actually run out of power. Or that this thing would block the sun. Damn. That's something I need to consider in future versions. So I'm just dead in space at the moment. So let's go ahead and warp up a bit to our encounter, and maybe we will get some power up in this bitch. Let's turn our lights off for starters. Buddy, I'm sorry to say it, but you're kind of dead in the water, aren't you? I wonder, could I actually get him out and get him to... Right now, we're pretty well cut off from the sun. This panel is getting... Well, it says it's getting nothing, actually. Alright, well, buddy, it's time for an emergency EVA here. I'm actually going to get you out. Well, in the Ass-A-Tron 2, I need to remember to at least include one of those RTGs. And I am not absolutely certain that he's going to even have enough force in his little body to push this thing. Okay. And he is ragdolled. That's good. That's just what we needed. Come on, bud, snap it out. Okay, and okay, here he goes. He's back. I thought Jebediah was gonna be lost in space there for a second. Okay. Let's hop back in and see if he did any good. Looks like we should be getting sun. Looks like. Yeah, after I do this maneuver, I got to make sure to move things to where he's got sunlight. Where's the door? It's over here. I think surely he should... we should be getting some power now. Yeah, we got some power. Alright, good job, Jebediah. Way to go, buddy. So we're going to go ahead and fill up the electric charge. We're going to do our maneuver. And then most importantly, we're going to get back oriented toward where our collectors are going to get sunlight. Because otherwise, this thing's going to be dead in the water, dead in space. Okay. Yeah, that was a little bit of excitement. But Jebediah and his astronaut skills have saved the day. Alright, well, it'll take a little while for me to charge the battery fully. Okay, we're doing our burn. It's a substantial little burn, but should have plenty of fuel. And for the sake of cutting tedium, I will skip to the chase here. Okay. Almost done. Okay. Can kill that. Okay, we have periapsis of 48. Okay. Now I've got to go calculate and see how much I need. I need to figure out what periapsis I'm going to need in order to air brake this mass into orbit. Okay, I need a periapsis of about 34,000 meters. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try. Looks like it is on the bubble here. I'm going to try making the change with RCS to just to have a little finer control. We'll see how that works. Turn off the grid overlay. Let's do a little jolt to the tubes here. Now, what did I say? 34,000 meters. That's close enough for me. Okay, let me make sure that our solar panels are pointed at the sun, and yes they are. Because we don't want to have that happen again. That would be uncool. How much juice we have in the tanks? Not much, but we're probably not going to have many fuel problems. Okay, let's go ahead and warp. Let's go ahead and do an F5. Go ahead and warp on in. This should be interesting. I've never aerobraked attached to an asteroid before. We'll get within a couple hundred thousand meters, and then we'll do any kind of fine adjustments we may require. That's still about right. I've got some other vehicles in space I didn't record. That's a space plane experiment. And over here was a cheapo rocket experiment. In other words, trying to have a very small, light, flimsily made moon rocket. And both of those experiments were relatively successful. Let's see. And with the space plane, we'll see more of that when we start the tourism bits. Space tourism. How far up? 800,000 meters. Alright, that's good enough. Okay. Get pointed retrograde. Thinking about whether I should shave that number down, perhaps it's down to a little bit closer to what the result said, but I had set a apoapsis of 100,000 meters, so probably we want to have a little bit of a safety factor, so we don't want to go too low. The summation of that's what I was saying is we don't want to go too low. There's Kerbin. You're heading home again, buddy? I guess I should probably head prograde. Let the asteroid take the brunt. Of course, probably in real life, if you were trying to do this, unless you have some sort of protective covering over the asteroid, using most asteroids as an aero shield, unless it's a fully solid nickel-iron meteorite, meteoroid, whatever. Probably, if it was like a C-class asteroid, using it as a heat shield would be very ill-advised. So what would happen is that you would be showered with a bunch of high-velocity gravel, basically, and then of course since you're using that as your heat shield and you presumably don't have another one, or if you had another one it would be destroyed by the high-velocity gravel, then you would die. So probably, unless you had if you had a big meaty nickel-iron meteorite that was almost like pure nickel-iron, that might actually work okay as a heat shield if it's big enough. But for like a C-class or something like that, stony or carbonaceous types, would be a mistake to use that as a heat shield. Fortunately, we don't have quite that realistic of a physics here. It'd be somewhat of a question whether the high velocity gravel would kill you first, or the lack of heat shield would kill you first. Probably both would come fairly close together, I would imagine. Sort of like, boom, oh, our ship's full of holes, boom, we're burned up, sort of thing. Yeah, it's sort of very close together, almost instantaneous. None of that, however, will happen here. With any luck, we will have a fully successful... Oh, there's a Minimus Mini Shuttle. Only a couple clicks away. Hey, dude. What's up, man? We're bringing home the bacon. Fried it up in a pan. Bringing home the bacon. Frying it up in the pan. I'm interested to see what the re-entry effects on this is going to be like. Hoping it does not, it's not off balance to the point where we will start spinning madly around. Because that could be uncool. That could be no bueno. No pinchy bueno. No heating. Okay, we're starting to get heating effects now. Kind of unusual. Seems to be having mostly on the sides of the vehicle. Jeb can bring home the bacon, fried up in the pan. Never ever let you forget he's a man, 'cause he's a man. Man. That was horrible. I'm never going to sing again. Actually, I keep saying that, and of course I always do sing again, so probably you shouldn't believe me. It does seem to be sparing this area from the re-entry heating, although not the external tanks. That's pretty cool. Screenshot. Well, let's take a look at our periapsis. Well, we're going to be staying in Kerbin. That's Kerbin's orbit, that's for sure. Question is whether we're going to be staying too close to Kerbin's orbit, as in it on Kerbin's surface. Hopefully that'll not be the case. Now let's switch around using RCS because this thing is a manatee. Let's switch around to retrograde so I can fine-tune this orbit, because I imagine we're not going to get apparatus of 100,000 meters. It's going to be a lot more, I would imagine. Come on, stay put. Okay, so we're at 500,000 meters. That's a bit much. We're aiming for roughly 100,000 meters. Alright, well, screw this. We're just going to warp on out to our apoapsis and adjust as necessary. And because that will be somewhat tedious and uneducational, I will skip that part. Okay, here we are in Kerbin orbit, a roughly 100,000 meter orbit. The asteroid is here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave Jebediah and the Ass-A-Tron 1 here in orbit. I'm going to take a brief diversion to a more local, some more local missions, developing a little space tourism, and then we'll play around with that for a while. And then at some future point, what we may do is go get some more asteroids and put them together to create a sort of artificial moon. Or I could muscle up this thing and go out and get a really big asteroid and bring it back. So either of those things are sounding worthy, and that's all for this time. Let me see how much fuel I got in here. A little bit. Okay. That's all for this time, and until next time, hasta la vista. Adios!